Hey everyone, Tony for our Vegas Hyper Adventures. So today I wanted to come to you and do a quick video of our my wife's bike and my bike, and do a little comparison between the Hyper 29-inch hardtail and the 26-inch Hyper hardtail. Now both of these bikes have been upgraded. I've added a lot of stuff to the bikes to make them ready for our desert riding and some of the excursions that we go on. And I just wanted to show a lot of you guys what the 26er can do, you know, what you can do to that bike as well as the 29-inch. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the 29er. So on the 29-inch, first things first, we want to just go straight to the RockShox. This is RockShox 100 millimeters worth of travel. I went short travel only because the bike stands pretty tall and I'm not a very tall person. So I have not one time bottomed out on this 100 millimeters worth of travel, full air suspension. Awesome fork. It's been great. Went with the Wake bars, the Wake stem, Wake headset, Jessica stem. It is a straight steer, even though these do look like they will take a taper. They are straight steer. Went with the trigger shifter, 7-speed trigger shifter. Also over here I have my dropper post. So I have a dropper, which is, again, being not too tall, I went with 100 millimeters worth of travel on the dropper. Just works perfect for me. You can get whatever you want. On this bike here, unlike the mid-drive, you have plenty of room for this to go down, so you don't need to really worry about that. But that dropper's been a world of a difference. Then I went with the 7-speed 34-tooth rear, 11 to 34 tooth on the back, with the Micro Shift 26, which seems to do very well. Lizard skin to stop some of the chain slap. Then I went with the 34-tooth front sprocket, which seems to be awesome. Still running the same cranks. Went with the Fokker color match on the pedals to match the green up top. The Minion DHF front and rear, 29 by 2.30. These tires have been great. The XO protection, Maxxis. You can run smaller air pressure and it just seems to work perfect. Now let's move to the 26er. This is my wife's bike. This thing's got a lot of upgrades. First things first, switched out to the disc brakes. Went straight for the disc brake, so you have to replace the front wheel. So I went with a quick release front wheel. I put on the same brakes, so I have the same brakes on her bike as I do on mine. These are the Zoom Buckalos semi-hydraulic brakes. Work perfect. Then I went with the front shock, which is this XCR Sun Tour 32. Works awesome. 120 millimeters worth of travel, full air suspension. She's pretty light, so it works great for her. Went with the same headset with the Wake stem and the Jessica headset. On this one, went with the carbon bars, I believe 680 millimeters. My bars are 120 millimeters. Went with the trigger shifter on her bike as well. 7-speed trigger shifter. So yes, I did switch her bike to a 7-speed from a 6-speed. Put on the same Mega drive on there, 11 to 34 tooth. Also went with the same derailleur, the Micro Shift 26, which again seems to run very well for us. And then I also switched out the front the front sprocket and cranks. So I went with the Buckalos cranks with the 34 tooth setup. I don't even have a chain ring on this thing, and I've not dropped a chain once. It's just got a special setup on the teeth that keep the chain on. It seems to run very well. I ordered a brand new magnet, put it on there. It seems to be doing really well. Haven't had any issues. Have the same lizard skin for chain slap to kind of keep it quiet. She doesn't have a dropper post yet. She's not really worried about that just yet. That would be my next thing. Again, I go little by little with her. But, you know, we just got the trigger shifter for her, so that's been awesome. And then I'm running the same Maxxis Minion DHF. Hers are 26 by 2.30. Also, the XO protection seems to be running really well for her. We just took a ride, so I didn't wash hers up. But, yeah, you can see both bikes are very capable. Very awesome, ready to go. The 26er is so fun. I even ride it. I'll even take it out once in a while because, you know, just to keep the battery. The other thing I do is I use the battery on my bike, on the 29er. I use the battery from the mid-drive. Now that I don't have the mid-drives anymore, I kept the battery. So I use that battery on here, which gets the better range. And then on hers, I had one of those Radster bikes sent to me by Hyper, and I used that battery, which is black. It's a black battery, and it's just a little smaller than the mid-drive battery, but it's bigger than the 26er and the 29er battery. So we get about the same range of about 22 to 23 miles if we really wanted to push it. But yeah, there you go. So you go from her bike, 26er, full air suspension, 120 millimeters worth of travel, trigger shifter, ready to go, new cranks, 34 tooth front tooth ring, back 7-speed from a 6-speed. My bike, new brakes with the Buccalo semi-hydraulic brakes, front and rear, trigger shifter, dropper post, 120 millimeter wake bars, wake stem, Jessica headset. You got dropper post. You've got the 7-speed Mega Drive. You got the micro shift. You got the 34 tooth front ring. So they're pretty much identical now. Ready to roll. These things are badass, and I'm telling you what, man, these hardtails are a beast. I'm Tony Ferrer, Vegas Hyper Adventures, and I'm out.